You know, relationships are complicated, and young men especially, are often told that they must chase, that they must plead, that they must prove themselves over and over just to be loved. But that's a lie. That's a distortion of the natural balance of power in a relationship. And if she cannot see your value, if she is indifferent to your presence, then you must do the one thing that will truly wake her up. You must remove yourself. You must be willing to walk away. Because a man without the strength to leave is a man without control over his own life. If you fear losing her more than she fears losing you, you have already lost. Desperation repels, weakness is punished, and the man who cannot stand alone will never be respected. Women do not respect men who beg. They do not admire those who cling. The moment she realizes that you will tolerate anything just to keep her, she will test you. She will take you for granted. She will push you to see how much you will endure, and the more you accept, the more invisible you become. A man who cannot walk away is a man enslaved. You are a prisoner to her approval, a hostage to her moods, a shadow of the man you could be. The tragedy is not that she leaves you, but that you betrayed yourself trying to make her stay. Love is not built on subservience. Desire does not grow from dependence. The second she knows you will never leave, she no longer has to earn you. And when you are no longer earned, you are no longer valued. Your presence must be a privilege, not an expectation. If she treats you like an option, you must show her that you are not one. If she believes you will tolerate disrespect, she will lose respect for you. And once that respect is gone, it never fully returns. You can beg, you can plead, you can compromise every part of yourself just to hold on. But in the end, she will leave anyway because the man she was drawn to no longer exists. Walking away is not about making her miss you. It is not a trick, not a manipulation, not a desperate attempt to win back her affection. It is the ultimate demonstration of self-respect. It is the refusal to tolerate mediocrity in love. It is the declaration that you are a man of worth, a man who will not beg for a place in someone's life. You do not convince a woman to love you by explaining your value. You show your value by being willing to leave when you are not valued. Words do not matter when actions contradict them. The man who says he is strong but stays in a weak position is a liar. The man who says he is worthy but accepts disrespect is delusional. Strength is not proclaimed, it is demonstrated. And nothing demonstrates strength more than the willingness to walk away when you are not appreciated. You do not need her, you want her. You want her. And there is a world of difference between the two. Need is weak, need is desperate. Need is the foundation of every toxic relationship. Every broken man who clings to someone who has already emotionally left him. A man who needs her is a man who has no control. A man who wants her, but is ready to leave if she does not meet his standard, is a man in power. If she believes she can replace you, prove her right by becoming the man she can never replace. And that begins with the discipline to remove yourself when your presence is not cherished. Do not wait until she has drained you, until she has stripped you of your confidence, until she has hollowed you out. The moment you feel yourself being taken for granted, the moment you sense that she assumes you will always be there, that is the moment you must walk. The world respects the man who respects himself, and self-respect is measured by what you tolerate. If you accept neglect, you have declared yourself unworthy of attention. If you accept indifference, you have announced that your presence holds no weight. If you remain when you should have left, you have chosen self-betrayal over self-respect. Women are drawn to men who value themselves. A man who knows his worth does not have to demand respect. His presence commands it. And that presence is defined by his ability to leave when he is not valued. The paradox is cruel but undeniable. The man who is too afraid to lose her will always lose her, and the man who can walk away will always be the one she cannot forget. Pain is temporary, but self-betrayal lasts a lifetime. Walking away will hurt. It will test you. It will make you doubt yourself. But staying when you are not valued will break you. It will erode your confidence, strip away your dignity, and leave you a shell of the man you once were. And when she finally does leave, you will have nothing left, not even yourself. A man with options is a man with power. The ability to walk away is the ability to choose, and choice is what separates the powerful from the powerless. The man who has no other options is a man who will accept anything. And the man who will accept anything is a man who will be given nothing. Do not seek her approval. Seek your own. Seek your own. Do not make her your purpose. Build a purpose so great that she fears being left behind. The man who is indispensable is the man who builds something greater than her presence. If she believes you are replaceable, it is because you have made yourself easy to replace. And the only way to change that is to become someone so valuable, so self-sufficient, so undeniably rare that losing you is not an inconvenience. It is a catastrophe. Every time you accept less than you deserve, you teach her that you deserve less. Every time you allow disrespect, you confirm that you are unworthy of respect. Every time you stay when you should leave, you make it clear that your presence is a given, not a privilege. The man who fears walking away is a man who has no belief in himself. He is not staying because he loves her. He is staying because he fears what life will be without her. And that is the greatest weakness of all. Because if your existence depends on her presence, you have already lost yourself. A king does not beg to be treated like one. He does not plead for loyalty. He does not tolerate disrespect. He walks when his throne is not honored. And because of that, he is irreplaceable. The moment you begin to act like a king, she will either rise to meet your standard or she will be left behind. He will be left behind. Either way, you will have won because the only victory that matters is mastery over yourself. Walking away is not about her. It is about you. It is about proving to yourself that you are enough, that your worth is not dictated by her attention, that your identity is not defined by her presence. You do not lose yourself in love. You do not shrink to be tolerated. You do not beg for space in someone's life. You are not a man who waits to be chosen. You are a man who chooses. And that choice begins with the decision to walk when you are not valued. Because the moment you show that you can leave is the moment she realizes what she had. And by then it will be too late. If she does not fear losing you, she does not truly value you. The moment a woman believes she can walk away without regret, she already has. A man who does not invest in himself is a man who becomes easy to forget. If she can replace you, she will. And if she knows that letting you go will leave her haunted, she will think twice before making that mistake. You do not get revenge by begging for her love. You do not make her regret by explaining your worth. You make her feel the loss by becoming someone she cannot reach again. The pain of losing you must be greater than the comfort of staying without effort. She must look back and realize she gave up a man who became extraordinary. A weak man tries to prove himself to her. A strong man becomes undeniable. There is no argument, no discussion, no desperate attempt to convince her that you are the best choice. The evidence is in your transformation. The regret comes when she sees the man you became and realizes she was blind to his potential. You must become so great that she watches from a distance, knowing she had something rare and foolishly let it slip through her fingers. She should see your name, hear your voice, remember your touch, and feel the ache of knowing she will never experience them again. Her comfort was in believing you would never outgrow her. Shatter that illusion. She must feel the weight of her decision. The pain of watching you evolve into a man who is too strong to ever look back. A man who is so focused on his mission, his growth, his power that he becomes untouchable. The greatest regret is losing a man who became everything she ever wanted after she let him go. She will not regret losing a man who stayed the same. She will not miss the version of you that tolerated her indifference. The pain of loss only comes when the absence is greater than the presence. She must see that your presence was a privilege, not a convenience. And that privilege is no longer hers to claim. The worst mistake a man can make is trying to make her miss him while remaining unchanged. She will not long for the man who begged. She will not desire the man who chased. She will only feel the sting of regret when she realizes she was once loved by a man who became exceptional. You must turn your pain into progress. The heartbreak, the disappointment, the betrayal, use them as fuel. Take every ounce of suffering and forge it into discipline, strength, and success. Let the fire of rejection forge the steel of your resolve. The man who rises from loss is the man she will never recover from. She should see you thriving in ways she never expected. She should see you surrounded by opportunities, admired by others, living a life so rich, so fulfilling, so magnetic that she knows she can never step back into it. The man she thought she could leave behind no longer exists. The version of you that needed her is gone. When she left, she assumed you would remain the same, that you would wait, that you would crumble, that you would fade into irrelevance. Prove her wrong. Show her that losing you was not just a mistake. It was a catastrophe. She must look at you and realize she let go of a man who became unstoppable, The worst revenge is becoming so great that she has to live with the knowledge that she misjudged you, that she doubted you, that she thought you were replaceable, only to find out you were one of a kind. And by the time she understands it, she has lost all access to you. Women do not regret losing a man who chases. They regret losing a man who ascends. The moment you stop seeking her validation, the moment you shift your energy into becoming undeniable, is the moment she starts to feel the weight of her mistake. She will not say it. She will not admit it. But she will feel it every time she sees the life you built without her. Do not let her believe that walking away from you was easy. Make sure that when she sees you, she sees a man she could never deserve again. Make sure that the thought of reaching out fills her with hesitation, with doubt, with the deep, unsettling realization that you are no longer within reach. She must see you evolve into something she never predicted. She must witness the transformation that proves she underestimated you. The regret is not in your words, it is in your absence. She will feel it when she sees that other women admire what she let go. She will feel it when she realizes that the man she once had is now someone who cannot be touched. No woman truly forgets the man who became something remarkable after she left. She will look at you and wonder what could have been. She will replay the moments she took for granted. She will recall the times she assumed you would always be there. And with every passing day, she will come to understand that you were the prize. You are not in competition with her. You are in competition with your former self. Every day must be a battle to outgrow the version of you that she knew. She must feel the chasm between who you were and who you are becoming. She must look at you and realize she lost a man who was only at the beginning of his greatness. She should witness your rise, knowing she can never be part of it. She should feel the distance between who you were and who you are now. She should understand that the man she left is not the man who exists today. And that realization should weigh on her like a shadow she cannot escape. The best revenge is living in such a way that she cannot ignore your success. It is in becoming the man she wished she had long after she let him go. The greatest pain is not in losing someone. It is in knowing that they became everything you ever wanted when it was already too late. Her memory of you must be bittersweet. She must remember your love, your kindness, your presence, but she must also know that she can never have them again. She must see you rising, thriving, becoming the man you were destined to be, while she watches from the distance, unable to turn back time. You do not need her to admit her regret. You do not need her to apologize. You need only to become so powerful, so self-sufficient, so magnetic, that the very thought of losing you haunts her. That every time she sees you, she is reminded of the choice she made and the price she paid, The man who becomes exceptional is the man who is never truly forgotten. She may move on, she may pretend she does not care, but in quiet moments, she will wonder. She will wonder what would have happened if she had chosen differently. She will wonder if she made a mistake. And deep down, she will know. Her greatest punishment is knowing that the best version of you no longer belongs to her. That your greatness will be admired by others, cherished by someone who sees your worth, desired by those who recognize what she once had. And by then, she will understand some losses are permanent. Unemotional weakness is the downfall of men who fail to control themselves. The man who cannot master his emotions will always be a slave to them. If she knows that she controls your mind, your heart, your decisions, she own you. And a man who is owned can never be respected. You must detach, not because you do not care, but because caring too much without discipline destroys you. A man ruled by his emotions is a man who will chase when he should walk away, a man who will beg when he should build, a man who will crumble under the weight of his own desperation. She must not see you break. She must not hear your pleas. She must not feel that her absence has unraveled you. And the second you show her that you are dependent on her presence, you have lost. She will test you. She will push you. She will see how far she can bend you before you snap. And the man who folds under pressure will never be taken seriously. The moment she senses that you are emotionally weak, you become disposable. Women do not long for men who cry at their feet. They desire men who are in complete control, men who are stable, men who can feel deeply without being overwhelmed by those feelings. If you collapse at the first sign of loss, you were never strong to begin with. And weakness is not attractive. It is not admirable. It is not something that earns respect. Mastery over yourself is the ultimate power. It is the ability to walk away from a situation that no longer serves you. It is the ability to stand firm when everything inside you wants to chase, to plead, to beg for another chance. It is the ability to be unmoved by rejection, unshaken by indifference, untouched by her attempts to manipulate your emotions. If she believes that she is the center of your world, she will treat you like a pawn in hers. A man whose emotions are dictated by a woman's presence is a man who has lost control of his own destiny. If you let her absence destroy you, you have given her the power to define your existence. And no woman respects a man she can destroy. There is no strength in emotional dependence. A man who needs her validation to feel worthy is a man who has not yet built himself. A man who cannot function without her attention is a man who has placed his purpose in the hands of someone who can take it away at any moment. If your happiness, your stability, your confidence relies on her presence, you are standing on a foundation that will collapse beneath you. And the strongest men are those who can detach, who can feel pain without being controlled by it, who can lose without losing themselves. A man who has control over his mind cannot be manipulated, cannot be played, cannot be thrown into chaos by someone else's choices. If you are unmoved, you are unbreakable. A woman must know that she can never shake you. That no matter how much she withdraws, no matter how much she distances herself, no matter how much she tries to make you feel her absence, you remain the same. A mountain does not tremble because of the wind. A king does not beg to keep his throne. A man of true worth does not fear walking alone. Emotional mastery is what separates the leaders from the followers, the admired from the forgotten, the powerful from the weak. The man who lets his emotions dictate his actions is a man who will forever be at the mercy of those who know how to pull his strings. You must not be that man. You must rise above the need for external validation. Pain is inevitable, but suffering is a choice. You will feel loss. You will feel betrayal. You will feel moments of emptiness, but what you do with that pain is what defines you. A weak man drowns in it. A strong man turns it into fuel. The fire that burns you today is the same fire that can forge you into something unbreakable tomorrow. She must see that her actions do not determine your destiny. She must witness your growth in the absence of her presence. She must understand that you are not a man who falls apart when things do not go his way. That is the mark of true strength. To stand tall in the face of loss, to walk forward without hesitation, to remain untouched by the storms that would destroy a lesser man. Emotional detachment is not about being cold. It is about being untouchable. It is about being so solid in your identity, so firm in your purpose, so grounded in your value that nothing and no one can make you question who you are. A man who knows himself cannot be manipulated. A man who respects himself cannot be disrespected. A man who is complete within himself is a man who does not chase. If she does not fear losing you, she does not respect you. And she will never fear losing a man who is emotionally dependent on her, a man who cannot function without her presence, a man who has no control over his own mind. She must feel the weight of your absence, not because you are trying to punish her, but because your life is too great, your energy too rare, your presence too powerful to be taken for granted. She should wonder why you are unbothered. She should question why you did not chase. She should feel the discomfort of realizing that her absence did not break you, that you did not crumble under the weight of her rejection, that you are still standing, still thriving, still becoming more than you ever were before. That is the only way she will ever understand what she lost. Do not be the man who begs for another chance. Be the man who moves forward so powerfully that she wonders if she ever truly knew you. Be the man who is so in control of himself that no one, no woman, no rejection, no loss can ever break him. Be the man who is so complete within himself that her leaving is not the end of your story, but the beginning of your greatness. Your emotions are yours to control, yours to master, yours to channel into something greater. Do not let them consume you. Do not let them dictate your path. Do not let them make you weak. Pain is temporary, but discipline is forever. And the man who has discipline over his emotions has discipline over his entire life. If she can make you lose control, she owns you. If she can make you question your worth, she has already won. If she can walk away and leave you in pieces, she will never regret leaving. The only way to make her feel the loss is to show her that there was no loss, that you are still rising, still evolving, still becoming the man she never truly deserved. Emotional detachment is not indifference, it is power. It is the ability to feel deeply, but never be controlled by those feelings. It is the ability to love fully, but never be dependent on another's presence. It is the ability to walk away without hesitation when your value is not recognized. That is the highest form of strength. A man who controls his emotions is a man who cannot be broken. A man who cannot be broken is a man who will always be respected. And the man who is respected is the man who is never truly forgotten. A man who transforms himself after loss is a man who will never be forgotten. The pain she expected to break you must become the very thing that builds you. The suffering she thought would destroy, you must turn into your greatest weapon. She must look at the man you become and realize that losing you was not just a mistake. It was the single greatest regret of her life. She will not feel the pain of losing you if you remain the same. She will not long for what she left behind if you have not evolved into something greater. The version of you that she abandoned must be unrecognizable to the man you become. She must see that the pain she caused you only sharpened your focus, only hardened your resolve, only made you more disciplined, more dangerous, more untouchable than ever before. She believed you would break. She assumed you would chase. She expected you to crumble under the weight of rejection. Instead, you rise. Instead, you rebuild. Instead, you become the kind of man who makes her question everything. The man who does not just move on, but moves forward with unstoppable force. The man whose success, whose power, whose presence becomes undeniable. Your transformation must be so profound that when she sees you, she hesitates. That when she hears your name, she feels a pang of regret. That when she looks at the life you've built, she understands that she lost something irreplaceable. The best revenge is becoming everything she doubted you could be. The greatest lesson she will ever learn is that the man she walked away from was only at the beginning of his rise. She must feel the loss, not because you tell her, not because you remind her, not because you try to make her see it. She must feel it in the silence, in the absence, in the space you once filled. She must feel it every time she sees a glimpse of your new life, knowing she can never be part of it. She must sit with the reality that the man she once had has now become the kind of man she could only wish for. The pain of losing you must not be instant. It must be slow, creeping, undeniable. At first, she will convince herself that she made the right choice. She will tell herself that she was better off. But as time passes, as she watches your growth, as she sees the man you are becoming, the doubt will settle in. She will wonder. She will question. And then she will know. There is no power in seeking closure. There is no strength in trying to explain your worth. The only response to loss is evolution. The only answer to rejection is reinvention. The only way to make her feel the pain of losing you is to show her without words that she lost a man who became greater than she ever imagined. She should see you and feel the weight of her mistake. She should look at you and wonder how she let something so rare slip through her fingers. She should come to the realization that you were never the problem, that the problem was her inability to recognize your value before it was too late. Women do not regret losing a man who stays the same. They do not feel the loss of what they assumed they could always replace. They only feel the pain when they see that the man they left behind has become someone they can never reach again. That is the kind of loss that lingers. That is the kind of regret that never fades. You must elevate yourself in every way possible. Your mind must sharpen. Your body must strengthen. Your ambitions must expand. Your life must become something so powerful, so magnetic, so undeniably great that she cannot look at you without feeling the void of your absence. She must know that the man she once knew is gone, and in his place stands a man who is untouchable. So, the way she left you should be the last memory she has of the man you were. The next time she sees you, if she ever does, you must be someone she cannot recognize. Not just in appearance, not just in confidence, but in energy, in presence, in the aura of a man who has mastered himself. The ultimate revenge is not bitterness. It is greatness. The deepest regret is not losing a man. It is realizing too late that he was irreplaceable. You must become the man she hoped you would never be. The man who does not need her validation. The man who does not seek her approval. The man who rises so high that she would not dare approach, knowing she no longer deserves a place in his world. She must feel the loss in every unspoken word, in every success she witnesses from a distance, in every reminder of the life she could have had, but foolishly let go. She must see other women admire you, respect you, desire you. She must know that the man she doubted is now the man others dream of having. She must feel the pain of knowing she settled for less, while the man she once dismissed became something extraordinary. That realization will burn deeper than any words you could ever say. She should understand that her leaving was not your end, it was your beginning. That the pain she expected to weaken you only made you indestructible. That the suffering she assumed would break you only built you into a force that cannot be stopped. That she did not just lose a man, she lost a future, a legacy, an opportunity that will never return. There is no greater pain than realizing too late what could have been. No deeper regret than knowing the door has closed forever. No heavier burden than witnessing the rise of a man who once loved you but will never look back. That is the only way she will feel the true loss. That is the only way she will understand the magnitude of her mistake, but of her mistake. You do not need to punish her. Life will do it for you. The universe will make her see what she took for granted. Time will reveal what she let slip away. The very success she doubted you could achieve will be the proof of her misjudgment. And by the time she understands it, by the time she feels it, it will be far too late. She will feel the weight of her decision, not because you force it upon her, but because your very existence will remind her of it. Every win you achieve, every goal you conquer, every level you reach will be another reason for her to regret. She will see the man you have become and know that she is no longer worthy of him. Her greatest mistake was assuming you would stay the same. Her deepest regret will be realizing that you did not. You were not just a man. You were an opportunity, a gift, a rare presence that she failed to appreciate. And once she sees that, once she fully understands that, she will feel the pain of losing you in ways she never expected. A man who transforms himself is a man who never has to look back. A man who builds himself is a man who never has to seek revenge. A man who becomes unstoppable is a man who will always be remembered. And a man who is remembered is a man who was never truly lost. He was only set free. She will only feel the pain of losing you when she realizes she can never have you again. Not because you tried to make her suffer, not because you sought revenge, but because you became a man so powerful, so complete, so extraordinary that she no longer belongs in your world. You do not teach her a lesson by chasing. You do not make her regret by explaining. You make her feel the weight of her mistake by evolving into something greater than she ever imagined. The man she left must not exist anymore. The weak, uncertain, dependent version of you must die. In his place must rise a man who is disciplined, unshakable, self-sufficient, unshakable, self-sufficient. A man who no longer seeks approval, who no longer waits for love, who no longer allows emotions to control his destiny. The moment she sees that you have moved beyond her, she will feel the loss. The moment she realizes she is no longer worthy of you, regret will consume her. But by then it will be too late. The life you are building, the strength you are developing, the purpose you are chasing, none of it includes her anymore. She had her chance. She failed to see your worth. And now the only thing left for her is the echo of what she lost and the sight of a man she will never deserve again.